Good evening, race fan, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the Premier. Well, we need to update that. No longer the Premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Now just the all-around, all-encompassing Premier Open Wheel Racing League. We have switched to the Super Formula cars for this opening round at Spa. As always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as drivers are making their way out onto the grid here in France. Let's go ahead and run through that starting order. Starting on pole, Finley Fitzsimmons. Jaden Calloway starting second. Reed Gibson starts third. A.J. Brenner starting fourth. Antonio Bianchi, the Italian stallion, starts fifth. Shazi Zuhair starting sixth. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian, will be starting seventh. Michael Fairchild starting eighth. Adam Plunkett starts ninth. Peter Rettinger starting 10th. Chase Small starting 11th. Jake Duckwall starting 12th. Let's cycle it on back to Xavier Zanabe, the flying Frenchman. He's starting 13th. Evan Alexander starting 14th. Jacob Bramley starting 15th. Ben Depew starting 16th. Carl Hartwell starting 17th. Willie Morris starts 18th. Ray Aguilar, the defending champion, starting 19th. Jace Meyer starting 20th. Leo Delmas starting 21st. Devin Hughes starts 22nd. Nathan Annam starting 23rd. Ryan Tebow will start 24th. And David Schmidt will round out the 25-car grid here today. Let us know in the spectator area where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have the broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor. If not, they just about always go back and watch it over. And they definitely notice and appreciate who is out there cheering them on. Still waiting for a few more drivers to make their way out onto the grid. We're waiting on, there we go, Fitzsimmons joins the grid. So we're waiting on Fairchild, Depew, Ray Aguilar, the three drivers yet to make their way out onto the circuit. We got Felipe Sarkis. He's cheering for Felipe Sarkis. A little bit of texting and driving there as he gets ready for the grid. Wait, Felipe Sarkis not on the grid. I misspoke there. Well, unfortunately, Sarkis not making it out for the series debut here. Looks like all the drivers are set. We're going to get ready for the lights to come on and click off. And we will get this thing underway. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We got Rita cheering on Carl Hartwell, I believe, who's a newcomer here at League Zero. The lights go off and we are underway at Spa. We're already seeing some drivers, totally botching the start. And that may bring out the safety car. Leo Delmas, Devin Hughes tied up in that one. A huge lap one, turn one calamity. Nathan Anam also involved initially, but Jaden Calloway is going to get away clean here. Taking over the lead, a massive lead. Only in 1.2 seconds over Finley Fitzsimmons' number 16 machine. And it is a busy midfield here. So these Super Formula machines, a lot more sensitive on the throttle. And we're going to have another big incident. Ben Depew, Jake Duckwall tied up in that one, focusing on Depew's number 19 machine. Jay Small also showing involved. It looks like it's going to be a gutsy move by Depew. Absolutely sends it in the corner. And that is going to take out, I believe, that may have been Ray Aguilar. Yes, the defending champion is going to get cleaned out on that one. And unfortunately, Chase Small, he's going to take a tow back to pit road as well. So Chase Small, Nathan Annam in pit road early on. Jaden Calloway still leading this thing. But now Finley Fitzsimmons closing the gap. So again, the race report, Chase Small and Nathan Annam have already taken a tow back to pit road. They will be unable to rejoin for this feature event. But their night is not over following the feature event here at Spa. The 20 laps or 45 minutes, whatever comes first, we will have our action-packed sprint race. As Chase Meyer had a bit of an issue as well, number 20. Just pushes wide, sends it around. Oh, but even more problems getting reported. This time it's Gareth McAllister and Antonio Bianchi, two longtime friends. What happened here? So we're focusing on Bianchi. Was there a crash ahead of Bianchi? Oh no, it looked like McAllister just a little bit hard on the throttle. Gets into him, and then problems are going to complicate again as he gets absolutely drilled by Bianchi. Antonio Bianchi's taking it back to pit road. Gareth McAllister does so as well. And while that fray was unfolding, Finley Fitzsimmons takes over the race lead. There's Jaden Calloway, Reed Gibson in very hot pursuit. My good friend Michael Keithley joined us in the spectator area, saying at least the guys that get crashed out early can go play battle bits with their friends. A little bit of an inside joke there from Keithley, so gotta love it from him. Looks like we have 18 of the 25 drivers still out on track. Ben Depew, Leo Delmas, Devin Hughes, Antonio Bianchi, Gareth McAllister, Chase Small, Nathan Annam, all on pit road. As we watch Reed Gibson trying to close the gap there as he sits in the third place spot. Let's go on board with Reed Gibson. Now, compared to the Formula 3 machines we've ran in the past, these cars much faster. And they do have 300 seconds of push-to-pass available. So if you look on top of the driver's seat, you'll see a flashing green light for Reed Gibson, which I believe signals that it is charging the push-to-pass. Oh, and a big moment there for David Schmidt. Is that a single car incident for the 54, or did he get some help? Now, Adam Plunkett, yeah, big solo incident for David Schmidt. Ryan Tebow, Adam Plunkett, Ray Aguilar, all down to pit road. It looks like Plunkett's going to take a tow, so he's going to be done out of this one as well. And here we go, the battle for the lead. Jaden Calloway fires back against Fitzsimmons. Reed Gibson in third looks for an opening, not able to find it. Oh, as we go wheel to wheel, Fitzsimmons and Calloway. Fitzsimmons takes over the top spot once more, gets a little bit loose there. Look at this, here comes newcomer AJ Brenner in number 80. Right up into the fray. So 4 drivers within 8/10 of each other. First Fitzsimmons, second Calloway, third Gibson, and fourth Brenner. Now these guys have about a 3-second gap over 5th place Michael Fairchild. Brenner falling back just a little bit from those top 3. Fitzsimmons, Calloway, Gibson staying linked up. Gearbox swing as we get a little bit of shaking around here. Gibson trying to get around Calloway, not finding luck, but there's lap traffic ahead. No, excuse me, that's not lap traffic. That is Reed Gibson losing the pack slightly, allowing AJ Brenner another shot and another opportunity to strike. Jake Duckwall's down pit road for a green flag stop. As we are on board AJ Brenner, he's about 4/10 back from Gibson. Now let's get the camera changed there. As look at the 3-wide action. This time it's Reed Gibson taking over the race lead. A little bit of contact between Fitzsimmons and Callaway. These top four are on the ragged edge here. Let's go a little bit further back. Willie Morris having a battle with Carl Hartwell in the battle for 10th. Hartwell's up 7 spots, and Morris also up 7 positions from where he originally started. So good to see the newcomers coming out running well here. Devin Hughes coming down pit road, but we got to pan back up front as there's another battle for the lead. Reed Gibson, Finley Fitzsimmons have put almost a second gap over Callaway and Brenner, but that gap could be closing as Fitzsimmons and Gibson still side-by-side action. This time it's going to be Fitzsimmons coming out on top as they cross the start-finish line. And yes, Gibson and Fitzsimmons with that side-by-side losing over a half second there to Callaway and Brenner. So those two still very much in the hat. So Fitzsimmons going to try and fend off Gibson here. Looks like he will do so, and those guys have pulled yet again another second gap over the battle for third. Callaway and Brenner putting on a show out here. And Michael Fairchild back in 5th is closing the gap. It's about let's call it 2.5 seconds back, but every time these drivers inside the top 4 start going side by side, that allows Fairchild to pull a little bit here, a 10th there, and get closer and closer to striking. As you can see Fairchild off in the background. Fairchild's about 1.5 seconds up over Shazi Zuhair, the number 10 machine. Now I'm interested to see, we're only 5 laps in, but this high-speed game with cat and mouse really hasn't slowed down any. Fitzsimmons again crossing the line in first. It's Gibson second, Callaway third. AJ Brenner still in the hunt. We have another battle going on. Ray Aguilar, who might be driving a little bit wounded, has Jake Duckwall right behind him. Aguilar involved in that big early incident, but Duckwall just has an off track there. Trying to carry some more momentum as they go side by side, the battle for 15. And it looks like Duckwall is going to come out on top. And while that battle's going on, Gibson and Fitzsimmons once again side by side. Gibson's going to be on the outside here. Is he going to be able to hold the race lead? Fitzsimmons fires hard. No such luck. A little bit of contact between the two. No harm, no foul. But look at this. Here comes Shaden Callaway. A big send at the inside of Fitzsimmons. Extremely impressive driving. I mean, you can throw a blanket over the top 4 at any point. As AJ Brenner pulls up alongside Callaway for third. Now, Brenner and Callaway have to stay focused. Yes, they're battling for that final podium spot, but they cannot let Gibson and Fitzsimmons break away here, because those two, the number 11 of Gibson, the number 16 of Fitzsimmons, absolutely lethal when they get clean air on the nose of any machine they're driving. And I don't think Fitzsimmons and Gibson have any worries about those behind him as they continue back and forth. Fitzsimmons able to take control of the lap at the tail end there, 7 laps in. So the fuel window will open up for these drivers around lap 10. This will be the first time we've seen these Super Formula machines in action this year for a league race here at Team Goon Squad, so we're not quite sure what the fuel windows are going to be for these drivers. Fitzsimmons guarding the inside of the track. Gibson looking for an opening, as well as AJ Brenner trying to pick up the double draft. And I saw briefly another battle starting to unfold. That's going to be Jacob Bramley versus Xavier Zanave, the battle for 8. That gap was down to within a couple of tenths here. Currently about 6 tenths advantage to Bramley. But Bramley's also catching up to Peter Rettinger, the Austrian, the number 44 machine. I wonder if Peter got a slowdown there, because he was very, very soft off the apex. Looked like he may have had some sort of slowdown, some sort of issue. Rettinger, the all-black number 44, he's up 3 spots in that 7th place position. And unfortunately, we have another crash report. This is Ben Depew, the number 19, a newer racer here at League Zero. But it's going to be that final chicane. Is it going to be too much throttle? Maybe a little bit too much curbing. Upsets the car. Around he goes. And Michael Fairchild indeed catching up to Shazi Zuhair. Added down to just a couple of tenths there. Shazi holding on, and look at this. Here comes the flying Frenchman. Xavier Zanave putting the pressure on Jacob Bramley in the battle for 8. Let's go back to Fairchild and Zuhair, though. It is going to be a draft battle here for 5th. Fairchild on the left side of your screen, Zuhair on the right. And it's going to be Zuhair holding on to it here. Fairchild tries to push him deep in the brakes. And while that's going on, Zanave making the pass on Bramley, way overcooks it. Way too deep goes the flying Frenchman. And man, this is lending itself to such good draft racing. There's Willie Morris, the 46, making a move on Carl Hartwell's number 79 machine. Everywhere we pan the camera, great racing to be found. Now Fitzsimmons getting the slightest breakaway up front, 3/4 of a second up over Reed Gibson. Again, race control tonight being served by Mr. Joseph Penn, the best in the business. Now, unfortunately, that's what race control was asking, if the broadcast was showing the push-to-pass input from our drivers. Unfortunately, not the case, as Reed Gibson muscles his way back around AJ Brenner. Brenner took the shot, and then Gibson said, "No, sir, not today." And look at the gap Fitzsimmons is starting to get there. 1.6 seconds up over the rest of the field. So unless Gibson, Brenner, and Callaway can catch up to the young Englishman driver Fitzsimmons, maybe walking away with it here. Evan Alexander comes down pit road for a green flag stop at the 77. As we go back on board, Jaden Callaway's 37. You saw a big puff of smoke from AJ Brenner. Looks like it was a bit of a lockup there. Now, I'm not sure I'm not sure if that was an undercut or a pit stop out of necessity. But if it was a regular green flag stop, it's definitely going to put Alexander, the first driver on pit road for this feature event. And again, a reminder to the fans, after this feature, of a very brief intermission, we'll interview the top 3. And then we will get them right back out there for the sprint, where the top 12 of this feature will be inverted grids. And it's always half the laps and twice the action. Fairchild keeping the pressure on Zuhair. Oh, something just happened. That was Jacob Bramley spinning. Violently spinning. Oh, mind the track there. Let's see what happened to Bramley. Does he get any help? Or is this going to be a solo affair? I believe that's Peter Rettinger on the right side of your screen. Oh, yeah, Bramley just loops it on his own. And unfortunately for that number 6, things just go from bad to worse, trying to get things fired up. Fitzsimmons with the clean air up front, clicks off 153.87, the fastest lap of the race. Brenner is still now up into second. Reed Gibson still third, with Jaden Calloway in hot pursuit in fourth. I've got to say, we weren't sure what was going to happen with this new car being run here at League Zero, but very impressed with the racecraft we're seeing from all the drivers so far. And Fitzsimmons just checking out, putting on a clinic. Let's get a camera pointed over at the race leader. Fitzsimmons has built it up to 2.6 seconds, but oh, a big blink there. And we're trying to see, I mean, AJ Brenner in second, not even in frame here. But we are past the halfway mark. Fitzsimmons has been shown the crossed green and white flag. And AJ Brenner, that's about a second breakaway from Gibson and Calloway. There's Calloway trying to work the draft. And it looks like Calloway's going to make it stick, sliding up into third. Now Jacob Bramley, Carl Hartwell coming down pit road for green flag stops. Right now, your top 8 drivers have yet to box here, stretching that fuel run out as long as they possibly can. Ryan Tebow, number 27, trying to get around Jake Duckwall. I don't think he's going to be able to make a shot at it here in that battle for 10. But Tebow's going to have to wait a little while longer. Big ups to Tebow as well. He always throws a couple of Team Goon Squad graphics on the side of his race car, so very much appreciated from us up here in the broadcast booth, seeing the support from the nice Canadian man, Ryan Tebow. Fitzsimmons, Brenner, Calloway, Gibson staying out for another lap. And that battle for 5th between Zuhair and Fairchild still rumbling along in the background as Fairchild just clicked off his fastest lap of the race on 153.77. I believe, actually, that is the fastest clean lap of the entire race, being owned by Mr. Michael Fairchild. Willie Morris, the 46, down pit road as he sits in 8th. Is Fairchild going to try and make a pass here on Zuhair? Or is he content tucking in behind that number 10 machine? Zuhair doing a great job as well. But Fairchild seems to really have pace here. Very comfortable in these new Super Formula machines. Just kind of stalking that number 10 of Zuhair. We're on board with Michael Fairchild. Running 6. Now Fairchild definitely very experienced here at League Zero. And even though it's very early in the season, this opening round, really the first race of the night, the first race of the season, we've seen him do extremely well in points chases in the past. Because he is normally very consistent, but it looks like he is going to take a shot up at the 5th. Point up alongside Zuhair. Zuhair searching for a little bit more track, a little bit more speed, but Fairchild going to take over that 5th place spot. And Zuhair takes the opportunity to come down pit road. Oh, we've got problems. Jacob Bramley takes a tow. He is most likely done and out of it here. Let's see what... Oh, let's back that up a little bit further. Bramley involved in some sort of incident. Must have had some bad damage. Oh, what an odd spot to lose the rear. And unfortunately just smashes the wing off. We also had another crash report. Xavier Zanave. Just, oh, a huge hit for the Frenchman. So Zanave is going to be done out of this one as well. Takes a tow to pit road. And the drivers that are going to be awarded a DNF, the list continues to climb here. There's a frantic 3-car battle for second. It's Brenner, Callaway, Gibson. Willie Morris comes down pit road. I believe we only have 17 of the 25 entries still out on track. I'm showing, I believe, 13 drivers on the lead lap, maybe 14. And Finley Fitzsimmons, your race leader with clean track, pulling a almost 6-second gap over the rest of the field. Now AJ Brenner's going to come down pit road, leaving Fitzsimmons, Callaway, Gibson out. Michael Fairchild also down pit road. Now don't forget, Zuhair came in 1 lap prior ahead of Fairchild, looking for some clean track. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one shapes out once these green flag stops are completed. So that's just your top 3 drivers who have yet to pit here, 14 laps in. And Reed Gibson's going to take a shot across the bow of Callaway. Draft right back against. That was interesting. The broadcast software had some sort of spasm. It actually showed Fitzsimmons involved in a crash. Not seeing a big incident here, though, for the race leader. I'm not entirely sure why the broadcast software, but thankfully no crashes for the race leader as he clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1:53.26. Fitzsimmons hard on the gas. We talked about it earlier in the show. If he gets out front uncontested, it's very tough for the other racers to try and overcome here. As we're watching Zuhair and Fairchild continuously having that battle for fifth, Jaden Calloway in second has pulled, it was about a half second, but Reed Gibson hard on the brakes as Calloway is going to come down pit road, sliding into pit road. So that just leaves Fitzsimmons and Gibson, the only two drivers who have yet to pit. They are stretching these tanks to the absolute limit. As you see Gibson hard on the binders. Now the big question is, when is Fitzsimmons going to come down pit road? AJ Brenner, Jaden Calloway, who pitted one lap apart, once again ends up nose to tail. If they're looking for clean track, they're not going to find it at this point of the race. Brenner came down pit road on lap 13, Calloway lap 14. Now, after these pit cycles, Ritter showing about 21 seconds back from Reed Gibson. The total pit lane time from entry cones to exit cones showing about 33 seconds. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Brenner and Calloway can be in contention for second once their green flag stops are completed. Or is Reed Gibson, with that clean air on the front of that number 11 machine, going to be able to find some pace and put down a couple of absolute burner lap times to try and break away from the rest of the field? Finley Fitzsimmons stays out another lap here. Reed Gibson will do the same. Surely they can't make it all the way to the end. I would imagine they're going to have the box here. Last time by, Fitzsimmons a 153.45. So pretty close to his fastest lap of the race. They're definitely not doing any fuel saving for that number 16 machine. Man, these Super Formula machines sound fantastic. So let's see. Surely Fitzsimmons is going to come down pit road this time by. No, he stays out again. What about Reed Gibson? Is he going to come down pit road? Surely these guys have to be getting close on fuel. And Gibson stays out. Very interesting. While the race leaders cross the start finish line, we have problems reported for Jake Duckwall. It's been the story all night. Drivers losing the rear end. And absolutely obliterating some race cars. So we're getting a word from race control. The cars can make it on gas, as there is no mid-race refueling, but the rule book, it is a mandatory tire stop during the race. Fitzsimmons last time by was only 200ths off his fastest lap of the race. This is going to be some interesting strategy. The battle for third continues. You got AJ Brenner in third versus Jaden Calloway fourth. You've also got the battle for fifth. Zuhair and Fairchild still linked up a quarter of a second apart. So let's pan the camera back up front. We've got to see. We're all watching with bated breath to see when Fitzsimmons and Gibson come down pit road. Fitzsimmons stays out again. What about Gibson? They're running out of laps here. Surely Fitzsimmons is familiar enough with the rule book. There goes Gibson down pit road. So Gibson running second in the number 11 machine down pit road for that mandatory tire stop. You see the car get jacked up. New tires put on. Takes about 6 seconds, drop back down. But where is Gibson going to be in relation to AJ Brenner and Jaden Calloway? Right now, oh my, Gibson's going to be behind here. So at this configuration of spot, they have the drivers coming out at the bottom of the hill as opposed to the top. So I realized I'm muted there. It looks like Fitzsimmons is going to come down pit road very late in the race. AJ Brenner has a Jaden Calloway breathing down his neck by about 4/10. So Fitzsimmons was not allowed to take the tire stop on either the first or final lap, or he would face a disqualification. So he definitely waited till the very last moment. Look at the move there from Calloway. Fighting back up into second. Reed Gibson at one point was over 1 second back from this battle for second, suddenly back in the hunt. And it looks to me Fitzsimmons is going to still have a massive lead, 10 seconds up over Calloway, Brenner, and Gibson. Yeah, I think it's gotten to the point, it's safe to say, if Fitzsimmons doesn't destroy a race all on his lonesome, he is almost unstoppable and he gets clean air on the front of that wing. I think Fitzsimmons just has to take it easy here. 9.5 second advantage. The white flag will be out next time by. The big question now is, how is the rest of the podium going to shape up? Currently, it's AJ Brenner in second. Jaden Calloway in third, 6/10 back, but I would not discount Reed Gibson as well, that number 11 machine. Gibson has been historically very, very quick, but It seems to me he's starting to fall back just a little bit here. And still a great battle here between Zuhair and Fairchild. Like Fairchild using the push to pass to help facilitate that move up into 5th. As AJ Brenner just sets the fastest lap of the race on 153.18, hauling the mail here late in the race. The white flag is out for Fitzsimmons. We pan back up to second place Brenner. He's got a half-second margin over Jaden Calloway. Is Calloway going to try and make something happen here? Both drivers look to be on the push to pass. Oh, Calloway's very far back. Brenner takes action to defend. Calloway not able to make it happen. As it looks like Calloway recharging the push to pass. I think Brenner may have used his up, so expect to see a last-ditch effort here from Calloway to take over the second place position. This is the final lap. If Calloway is going to make something happen, he is running out of time. Oh, and Brenner is having internet problems at what could be a absolutely terrible time to do so. He's still got 6/10, about a little over a half second over Calloway. And here comes Fitzsimmons into the chicane for the final time, using up the rest of the push to pass. Says, I paid for all the extra juice. I'm going to use all the extra juice. Fitzsimmons will take home the first round of the season, the first feature win here at League Zero. And it looks like AJ Brenner is going to hold on to second. And Jaden Calloway will bring home a third. A very excited Jaden Calloway. As Fitzsimmons burns it down for the fans at home. And these Super Formula machines just sound fantastic. Loving the engine whine out of these machines. We're going to wait for the top 3 to get up here into victory lane. Looks like we've got Jaden Calloway on standby, waiting on AJ Brenner and Philly Fitzsimmons. But it looks like the gang is all here. We're going to start things off with Jaden Calloway, 37. Jaden, welcome back to the top 3. What a wild race for the season debut.
Yeah, it was a great race. We pretty much played that as perfect as we could, me and my teammate AJ. So for our first race as teammates, I'll take that.
Now, is that why we were seeing maybe a little bit more hesitant movements between the two? I guess I would best describe as safer passes between the two of you.
Yeah, for the most part, we were just playing the team game, trying to lose as little time as possible and keep it safe.
Well, I mean, it looked like the plan worked perfectly for you guys. You and Brenner put on a great show. I mean, what are you thinking of the new cars? That was a lot of fun to watch you guys out there.
Yeah, I absolutely love the thing. Personally, it's a lot more difficult to drive than the F3, but it's very rewarding. And so when you manage to have good battles and go wheel to wheel cleanly, it's really, really nice.
Well, a ton of fun for us to watch up here in the booth as well as for the fans at home. Jaden, before I let you go, get ready for the sprint race. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this podium possible for you?
As always, my friends and family who are watching, my team, Squid Gang Racing, and my teammate AJ for doing great on his first race.
Awesome. Jaden, best of luck in the sprint. Good to have you back, bud.
Thank you.
That was Jaden Calloway bringing it home in third. Up next, we're going to get AJ Brenner, the number 80 machine. AJ, we just talked to your teammate, but it seems like you weren't going to make things easy for him out there.
I never do.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some great defense from both of you guys on the straight with the push to pass. in full effect. And I mean, you guys were continuously pushing yourself to go faster and faster every lap. How much fun were you having out there behind the wheel in that number 80 machine tonight?
It was a great time. Me and Jaden were just going back and forth. We kind of got a good gap at the start, but we couldn't catch up to Finley. We were trying, but he was just too fast and too consistent. We lost him about halfway through the race, but other than that, it was an awesome race.
Now, with this feature being done, is that going to change any of the strategy you have coming into the sprint race to cap off the evening?
Try to get a better start. My launch was pretty slow, so I try to get off and try to get into P2 or P3 from the start this time.
Well, awesome. We're looking forward to it. AJ, before I let you go, get ready for the sprint and party with the team. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make it happen?
Felipe, my boy Felipe.
We love Felipe. Where is Felipe?
I think he's still recovering from some personal stuff right now. So.
Gotcha. Well, we'll keep Felipe in our thoughts. AJ, best of luck in the sprint and hope to have you back up here, bud.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That was AJ Brenner bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Finley Fitzsimmons. Welcome back to the top spot. A new car, a new series, or a new season, I should say. But it seems like maybe some of the same results we've had in the past.
Yeah, I really, really like this car. It really sort of suits my driving style, but it's also very tricky in the traction, and I love the challenge as well. But a lot of new, quicker guys as well joining the league, and it definitely makes it a lot more interesting here at the front.
Yeah, it seemed like the opening 3/4 of the lap, you could throw a blanket over any of you guys in the top four, and it wasn't until late in the race you kind of got that breakaway you were looking for.
Yeah, so yeah, he was really, really close throughout the first few laps. I didn't think I'll be able to pull away because, well, if you're in the slipstream, it's basically really easy to slingshot past. So, yeah, I think it was going to be I thought at least it was going to be a long race, but fortunately we were able to break the gap because they were battling behind, and then it was just a race of making sure we made their mistakes.
Well, hey, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. It's a new car. A lot of drivers seem to be having issues with the starts of these Super Formula machines. How do you think that's going to play into the sprint race where we have half the laps to kind of cut through the field with that inverted grid?
Yeah, people are going to be really ambitious on the start, but I think they know what to expect now. So I think we'll be a little bit more controlled, but there might be a few guys that send it, so you can never really predict that will happen. But I think there may be one or two guys that spit it up, but I think on the most part, people already know what the game is.
Well, awesome. I know it's going to be action-packed for the drivers and for the fans at home. Finley, before you get ready for the sprint race, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this first one of the season and a feature event possible for you?
Although he's not my teammate anymore, great shout out to Gareth and Alex released give me pep talks at the race and what to do with the strategy and conferring with the officials to confirm what the regulations were with pitting towards the last lap of the race.
Yeah, I was going to say, you almost blew that one there, buddy.
Yeah, so we were just conferring because in the regulations it says that you can't pit on the final lap, but it doesn't say onto the white flag, and we just need to confer to make sure whether or not we could pit on that 19 to 20 instead of 18 to 19. So we played it safe and did 18 to 19, but we were just trying to minimise the amount of time on the cold tyres. But yeah, thank you, of course, to you, James, to the broadcast booth. Thank you to Antonio and all the race stewards for putting on this great league, and I can't wait for the sprint race.
Well, awesome. Finley, best of luck, my friend. Good to have you back, and hope to have you back following the sprint.
Every time you say that, I don't end up back.
All right, I hope you crash out turn one, lap one, and the night goes terribly for you.
See you later, James.
See you, buddy. That was Finley Fitzsimmons finishing the top spot, and always love that kid. He's great to have up here in podium interviews. So we're going to take a brief intermission. We'll be back in about 5 minutes, and we will get things going for the final sprint race of the opening round. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. We are back for the sprint race. We've got half the laps, twice the action, and an inverted top 12. Get the race monitor pulled up the left side of your screen. So that's going to put Carl Hartwell in the top spot with that inverted grid. Jace Meyer starting second. Evan Alexander starting third. Ray Aguilar starting fourth. Ryan Tebow starting fifth. Peter Rettinger will start sixth. Shazi Zuhair starting seventh, alongside his close rival, Michael Fairchild, who's going to be starting eighth. Reed Gibson starting ninth. Jaden Calloway starts 10th. AJ Brenner starting 11th. And Finley Fitzsimmons will be starting 12th with that inverted grid. We get ready for the lights to turn on, then off, and we'll get things going for the final time here tonight. Is the start going to be good? It looks a little hairy. And no, it is not, as the field completely runs out of talent, wads everything up. I saw Jace Meyer tied up in that one. Now, I don't think we're going to have the safety car, and oh, it's going to be big. Finley Fitzsimmons involved in that. Jace Meyer, Ryan Tebow takes a tow back to pit road. So you heard Fitzsimmons in the interview say, every time I wish him luck and I hope he's going to be back for the sprint race. He says he always crashes. So unfortunately, the commentator's curse really hits home. Try and get a nice tight angle. We're focused in on Jace Meyer's number 20 machine. And Meyer gets, I don't know if he got hit and bounced into the wall. Oh, but we were going to have a safety car deployed. In the sprint race, we had another incident. This time, I believe, with Devin Hughes. David Schmidt involved in that one. I think Ben Depew, Chase Small showed involved with an off track. Let's see what happens. Small is at the head of the pack here. And I think Chase Small just absolutely punted somebody. I can't tell if he was the punter or their puntee. And look at the car parts scattered everywhere. Let's get that one once more. I want to try and get a different angle to see who may have caused that. Oh, I'm not quite sure who that is. Is that Chase Small, I wonder? But an absolute violent crash. No, it's not Chase Small. David Schmidt may be involved. No, Schmidt's at the front of it. So we're trying to figure out who just caused so much calamity. I think it may be Devin Hughes. No, Hughes was ahead and gets hit with netcode. That's what takes out David Schmidt. Maybe Ben Depew, maybe? No, I think Pugh is the guy who gets punted first. He's on the bottom side of your screen, the number 19. But what a spectacular crash. Poor Chase Small, nowhere to go. I wish I could figure out. Surely that wasn't Antonio Bianchi. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It's our longtime friend Bianchi, who absolutely caused the huge one. So it's going to be a much lighter grid here. I mean, we're down to 12 racers. We've lost half the field already. About 5 drivers did not start. Nathan Annam, Peter Rettinger, Jacob Bramley, Adam Plunkett, Jake Duckwall all retired. But let me take a big breath here and give you the list of drivers who have parked it early. Ben Depew, Antonio Bianchi, Chase Small, Jace Meyer, Ryan Tebow, Finley Fitzsimmons, David Schmidt, Devin Hughes. All forced into a very early retirement. And yes, we get the call that the safety car was deployed. So we are in pacing conditions here with only 13 drivers left out on track. Looks like Ben Depew was able to get back out on track as well. So a reminder to the fans, if you take a tow from any of the events, you cannot rejoin the track. That's going to be Devin Hughes, David Schmidt, Ryan Tebow, Chase Meyer, Finley Fitzsimmons. So Chase Small, Ben Depew were able to come down pit road for service to get back out on track. I know, Finley's joined us in the spectator area, loving the commentator's curse. So we're going to do one more long lap here at Spa. Now, I hate to do this, but we did have a crash under caution. Let's see what happened to Ben Depew. I wonder if he's driving a little bit wounded in that number 19 machine. It looks like the wings are all there, but just sends it careening around. So I think Depew's got some sort of problems in that car. I would not be surprised to see him come down pit road. And Depew does come down pit road, so that machine not quite up to par yet, not recovered enough as Ray Aguilar trying to keep heat in the tires. So with Depew back down pit road, that's going to leave 13 drivers out of the 25 originally entered out on track. As we've got a half lap longer of pacing conditions. And we will try and get this thing going again. So this is going to be a good point. Somebody made the spectator area. Maybe rolling starts will help clean things up. We're going to find out here shortly as the pace car makes its way down the final back portion of the track here at Spa. So let's get ready. Ray Aguilar is going to set the field here up front as the iRacing safety car should be coming down pit road. The green flag is out. Out goes Aguilar. And is this going to be cleaner? We've got showing 14 drivers out on track. And Aguilar, a massive breakaway. Let's go back to Evan Alexander, who's got the field behind him. Alexander running fourth, but there's Reed Gibson, Shaji Zuhair, AJ Brenner, Michael Fairchild. A lot of stacked talent behind the number 77 machine as we go 3 wide at Spa. Gotta be careful here. Alexander fends him off. Gibson's gonna move up into 5th. We had a crash report from, I believe it was Gareth McAllister, who is going to take a tow back to pit road. Let's see what happens to McAllister and if he gets any help or if it's going to be all on his lonesome. Oh, that is a fast place to crash as he comes barreling in and narrowly avoids getting tagged from Bianchi. Aguilar checking out here 3 seconds up ahead as we watch Carl Hartwell, Jaden Calloway battle for second. There goes Calloway, making the move. Reed Gibson in the background. Hartwell tries to fire back and not quite able to do it. Now Hartwell's going to have his hands full with the likes of Reed Gibson. Had another crash report as well, this time Chase Small. But we're not going to dare pan the camera away yet as Gibson and Hartwell go wheel to wheel, literally. Looks like Hartwell gets pushed off a little bit there slightly, and he will lose the 3rd place spot to the number 11 of Reed Gibson. Let's see what happened to Chase Small, though. Does he get help? Looks like he stuck his nose in a little bit too deep there. Has it chopped off. Was able to keep it going. Leo Delmas has problems as well. Looks like that's turn 1 as there goes Antonio Bianchi. Oh, 2 great battles. There's Jaden Calloway, Reed Gibson battling for 2nd. Right behind that is Hartwell and Zuhair battling for 3rd. So Gibson's going to move up into 2nd, Zuhair up into 4th, and here comes AJ Brenner as well, joining the party from that 6th place spot. Now, I will say, as I'm watching this for the first time, as these competitors are in the super formulas, when the drivers stay out on track and aren't just pinballing into each other, the racing seems to be fantastic in these machines. But definitely a tougher learning curve for the competition, as we've seen both starts we've had drivers careening out of control. But for the most part, once they've got momentum going, very, very good racing. Just seems like the starts have been the big issue for the drivers, and power application seems to be very tough as well. Putting the power down, keeping the car planted and moving forward. Oh, there goes Willie Morris. I mean, just as we were saying that, here's Leo Delma safely getting around. I mean, that's a great textbook example of what we were talking about. Morris is going to be a little bit hard on the throttle here. I mean, the car seems well planted, not too much curb, but a little bit too much gas is all it takes to send it sliding around. I would say definitely more difficult than the Formula 3 machine to hold on to. And it seems like if you start to lose that rear end, you're just along for the ride at that point. Now Gibson up in second, does have the fastest lap of the race on 154.3, 1.2 seconds faster than Aguilar, but he is still at a 2.5 second deficit. Now Aguilar is our defending champion, definitely did not have the feature result that he was looking for. As we check in on Aguilar, he's up 3 spots. He gained those positions very, very early in the sprint race. And then has put his head down ever since. We still have good racing out on track, though. We pan the camera back to Evan Alexander, who was squarely in the meat grind at the beginning of this race. Hasn't had much of a chance of a break as he's got Xavier Zanave trying to find a way back. Zanave heavy on the push to pass. Michael Fairchild was in this mix as well. Falls back slightly, but now Fairchild going to gain it right back on the brakes. On board Michael Fairchild, he's going to try the long way around through turn 1. There's Evan Alexander. You can just barely see him the right side of your screen, but look at the momentum carried there by Fairchild. He's going to get the 8th place spot. Now the question is, does he hold on to it? I thought Alexander was going to be in the draft. A little bit all over the place there, able to recollect himself, but he's fallen a half second back. Does not look like Alexander has any push to pass left in reserve. Did not see any lights on the halo, so I think he may be out. So he's got to whittle away a 1 second deficit the old-fashioned way. And meanwhile, Shazi Zuhair has company from AJ Brenner's number 80 in the battle for 4th. Zuhair's up 3 spots, Brenner up 6. Brenner about a 1/4 second back from that number 10 machine. I've got to agree with Nick Peterson. I'm personally a fan of the push to pass. They only, I believe it's 300 seconds total in a race that competitors have of push to pass available to them. As you see AJ Brenner, he is on that push to pass as well. Oh, Brenner may have made contact there with Zuhair. Zuhair gets pushed wide. And Brenner hard on the push to pass. Reed Gibson once again has the fastest lap of the race, but now Zuhair also going to be on push to pass, charging up the hill, wants to keep that number 80 of Brenner within striking distance. Gibson though, a 1:53.97, getting faster. He has closed the gap to Aguilar now to 1.3 seconds, but with just a couple of relatively short laps left, is that going to be enough? Brenner and Zuhair on the binders here. I get a correction from Peterson. They have 200 seconds of push to pass available. As it looks like Brenner and Zuhair were both in the recharging zone. Brenner extending the track limits ever so slightly there. Has to be careful not to get a slowdown because Zuhair, very hot pursuit. Well, another great battle is Carl Hartwell, Michael Fairchild battling for 7th. They're side by side. Oh, and very, very close there. Fairchild slides up into the 7th place spot. Going to try and hold on to it. He has gained 1 position in this sprint race. The 2 tight battles out on track. We've got Brenner and Zuhair battling for 4th. Fairchild and Hartwell throwing the elbows out in the battle for 8th as Raymond Aguilar clicks off his fastest lap of the race on 1:54.23. Gibson sets another personal fastest as well as race fastest in that number 11. Is whittled it down to 1.1 seconds. So let's make it 1.1 behind Aguilar. So let's check in on Reed Gibson. Yeah, look at that. He's within striking distance here. Both drivers showing as the push to pass still available. As we go on board, Reed Gibson has whittled it down to less than a second between himself and race leader Aguilar. And I can't say enough, these cars just sound absolutely spectacular, especially on diesel. Let's wait for the next tight corner for Gibson as Aguilar finds another 10th here. Beautiful sounding machine. So now it's still 1 second separates Aguilar and Gibson. And the white flag will be out this time by. Gibson's on the push to pass. Aguilar is as well. I mean, almost on identical push to pass strategies there. Oh, Gibson a little bit of a slide, able to catch it. White flag is out though. 1 second separates these two. Is Gibson gonna be close enough to make a shot at it? Oh, this is going to be tight. Still a second advantage to Ray Aguilar. Oh, man, I don't know if Gibson's going to be able to catch him here. We got less than a half lap left to go. Both Aguilar and Gibson are out of push to pass. And these drivers hitting trap speeds. It shows Gibson at 196 miles an hour this race. This lap, I should say. Which is absolutely insanely fast. Gibson doing everything he can. And at the end of the day, nobody is going to be able to say he did not work his hardest for it. Aguilar comes to the chicane the final time, and Gibson throws it away. Gibson tries to get it going. Jaden Calloway gonna sneak into second, excuse me. Oh, it's gonna be a drag race to the line. AJ Brenner throws it away, so Gibson's gonna hold on to it. Oh, Gibson just got a little bit of a gift there for as bad as that went. Ray Aguilar is gonna burn it down in style. What an action-packed season debut here at League Zero. We're going to try and get these top three up into the waiting room. That's going to be Ray Aguilar, Jaden Calloway, and Reed Gibson. As I try and catch my breath up here in the broadcast booth. So we're still waiting on Reed Gibson and Ray Aguilar. Not sure if Gibson's going to be joining us for this one. But there might be a little bit of frustrations there. We got Aguilar, we've got Callaway. It looks like there's a bit of debate, but it looks like we've got him. So we're going to get Reed Gibson up here, the number 11 machine. Reed, you got a copy?
Hello.
Reed, did you think you didn't get a podium?
No, me and Ray just joined the wrong waiting room.
Reed, how many times have you been up here, buddy? You've podiumed a lot in my broadcasting career.
Yeah, somehow I've done pretty well overall, considering that I'm a no talent having hack and spun in the final corner.
So
Yeah, no, it's good.
I was willing to push past that because the huge drive you did. Granted, it was a super abbreviated sprint race, but those last few laps, I mean, we could tell you, and we were talking about you were giving it absolutely everything, slowly getting that gap closed up to Aguilar. But it seems these cars, with how much power they put down, if they start to step away, almost impossible to catch these things.
Yeah, I think this car is really fun to drive everywhere but the slow speed stuff. That was just painfully difficult. But in the high speed stuff, it's fun, and the push to pass really throws in an interesting dynamic. I think I was using it in a slightly different way. But yeah, I realized I had damage in the feature race, so I was like, all right, well, I probably should push a little harder. And watching Ray slowly get reeled in, it was fun. It definitely made for an interesting race.
Now you talked about your interesting strategy in the push to pass, but those last couple laps, it looked like you and Aguilar were hitting the button. I mean, almost identical times there coming into the final chicane. I was watching the push to pass countdown, and I think you guys activated the exact same moment.
Yeah, I was riding the push to pass before I even got to Blanchimont and trying to do a one long push to pass every other lap to work with the timer. I figure sustained speed over distance is going to be the best way to get time. And these cars, again, they struggle to put down power. So any of the corners where you can just line it up straight and hold that throttle down with the push to pass and getting up to that VMAX, that's probably the best use of it. But yeah, I'd be curious to see exactly how Ray was doing it.
Well, I mean, it was great racing all the way around. It's good to have you back up. We'll pretend the last quarter didn't happen. A great race other than that, my friend. But Reed, before I let you go celebrate and kind of unwind after that one, who do you want to give a shout to that helped make this first podium of the season happen for you?
Just a general shout out to Antonio and Ray for putting on another fun league. I like that we're trying something different. May or may not stick, but it's always good to try something new, and I'm having fun doing it. So thanks to those guys.
Awesome, Reed. Always good to have you back up here, my friend, and hope to have you back next week.
All right. See you later, man.
Thank you, sir. That was Reed Gibson bringing it home in third. Up next, Jaden Calloway joined us once again in the number 37. But boy, Jaden, he just kind of snuck up in there and stole second.
Yeah, the start was mega. I think I got off the line a lot better than everyone else, and by turn 1, I was in like P3, P4.
Yeah, and I mean, you quickly get through the field. You're able to squeeze home that second spot at the very end. But as far as sprint races go, you kept it very clean and kind of stayed out of the carnage.
Yeah, luckily, I think it was just due to the start, really. I saw a big wreck happen in the background, so I was happy that I was far away from that.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of expected it, right? It's Spa, it's the season debut, it's Spa, and it's a new car. So was all the racers a little bit not surprised when the safety car was deployed with those big incidents?
I can't speak for everyone, but personally, I was definitely not surprised. I was hoping it wouldn't come out since I got such a good start, but it's not surprising at all.
Well, I mean, it was a lot of fun for us up here. It was a lot of fun for the fans. Was it fun for you as a driver, able to survive the opening 2 rounds here tonight?
Yeah, it was great. This car is a lot of fun, and I don't think I could have thought of a better way to start the season off.
Awesome, dude. Pumped to have you up here. Always a pleasure. Hope to see you carry that momentum forward. And for the last time tonight, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make these back-to-back podiums possible for you?
Same as always, my friends who are watching, my family, and my teammates in Squid Gang Racing.
Awesome. Always a pleasure, Jane, and hope to have you back next week.
Hope to be back.
That was Jaden Calloway bringing it home in the second place spot. Up next, the man, the myth, the Little Debbie legend, Ray Aguilar. Welcome back, my friend. First win of the season's got to feel good.
It does feel good to finally get a good race in. The first one did not go well, but this next one went as well as it could go, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Jaden about that. I mean, it's a season opener, it's Spa, it's a new car, and most importantly, it's Spa. So with all those considerations, do you think tonight went cleaner than you were expecting or about par for the course?
I think it went way cleaner than expected. This is a new formula for us, new car, and I think, we were super concerned there's going to be a lot of crashing going on, especially on the start. So much more power to deal with on the rear wheels, and the amount of time you have to put into a car like this to extract the time out is a lot more than the F3 we were in. So I think it went better than it could, and I think we could probably do better in a lot of ways. We're going to look at the rule book and look how it all goes and see if we can figure something out. Hopefully it was fun to watch from your side.
Yeah, it definitely was, and that's a good point you made. I mean, as drivers, as admins, as broadcasters, we're always continuously trying to improve to put out a better product each and every week. And I mean, you were starting from day one. You put out a starting guide for a lot of the new racers, how to maximize the starts, and maybe not even maximize, but how to have safer starts in these super formula machines. And it seemed like for the most part, a lot of the field was able to kind of learn from that and nail the starts. Maybe not getting off the line super quick, but they were getting off the line safely.
Yep, that's the goal. That's what we were hoping. When we first started testing this car, we saw it was spinning off the line really bad, and we want to put on a good show. We don't want to be one of those things where half the grid explodes when the race starts. So we considered rolling starts. We've considered all kinds of stuff, but I think a lot of the guys have figured out we're going to get some updates to the car soon that should help with the traction control and launch control stuff. So I think we'll be sitting pretty good. In the meantime, I'm pumped, enjoying the sprint race win. At least I got some points in tonight, and yeah. Having a good night. The Little Debbie number 1 machine this year. The Little Debbie number 1 machine got 1 win in at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's a start. And speaking of traction control, so something I haven't had the chance to drive this car at all. I just I was able to purchase it from iRacing, loading into the lobby tonight. But it seems like something the drivers, I mean, from the top of the field towards the back are struggling with is low downforce throttle application. Is it that much more sensitive than the Formula 3 machines we've ran in the past?
It's about 10 times more sensitive. You can definitely get, even half throttle coming out of some of these corners that you used to be able to do that in. You'll light them up. And again, there's settings for that we're going to have, but they have not been unlocked by the manufacturer yet. They work in open series right now, but in a fixed setup series like ours, they're currently disabled by accident.
So in the meantime, what's the fix? Is it are drivers short shifting? Are they just very ginger on the throttle? How are you guys surviving out there and still trying to put some semblance of power down?
That's a good point, because I think some of these guys, for some of this, it's going to help them develop some throttle control. When you take those aids away, they got to get better with the right foot. And yeah. So they'd have to end up like learning about how the car behaves at the rear without having to depend on these aids. So yeah, maybe it's a good thing for now. You know, they get used to that, then the aids come in, and then we get a good series. But the push to pass is cool. It helps the strategy. We're still learning the strategy in the feature race. Unfortunately, since I had a damaged car, I couldn't really tell. But you know, we still have to figure out what's the fastest way to get 20 laps out of this car with a stop for tires. And I think we'll know that probably by the end of the season.
Well, it was a ton of fun to watch. I'm interested to see how the season and the drivers and the car develop over this kind of uncharted territory for everybody involved. But I know you're pumped to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit more good seat time compared to the feature event. And Ray, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night, my friend. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make it happen for you?
As always, Team Goon Squad for putting on a good show and making this stuff, making it fun for us. That's the big thing. Is we're a fun league. These broadcasts are take it to the next level. And then I want to thank my teammate for helping me out and getting this whole thing planned and getting all these cars off the line. I don't think we would have had as good of an outcome if we wouldn't have planned this well enough. And my family and wife and my cat Daphne.
Awesome, Ray. Always a pleasure, my friend. Looking forward to round 2 as well at the rest of the season. And thank you, as always, for helping to put on such a great show here at League Zero.
Yep. Thanks, James, for putting up with this while you're sick. And remember, leaguezero.net, if you want to come race with us, come sign up. We're going to have lessons and training sessions and all kinds of cool stuff this year. So hit us up.
Awesome. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you too, buddy. And that was Ray Aguilar bringing home the first sprint race of the season in commanding style. He was accompanied, of course, none other by Jaden Calloway second and Reed Gibson finishing third. On behalf of LeagueZero.net and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name has been James East. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday night with us, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.